Welcome, everyone. It's so good to see you all in the chat. I am Professor Heather Austin, and today we are talking about how to master AI in your job search, specifically what works and what doesn't in the coming year in 2025. Say hello in the chat if you can see me and hear me. Give me a big, huge thumbs up. Hopefully you guys are all here and we're ready to get started because I have some amazing information to share with you, stuff that I haven't ever shared before. So my team and I did a lot of research for this upcoming live stream to get you guys ready for the new year and specifically using AI. We get a lot of messages from you guys. Half of you are using AI, half of you aren't. So I'm going to show you how to properly use it in your job search for this coming year. So say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're joining us from. So happy to see you guys. A lot of you jumped in early. Ken, so happy to see you. You said part of our snow has melted. I'm so happy to hear that. We haven't had snow for a couple of days here in Utah. It probably is coming though. Hello, Tim. Happy to have you here from Canada. Sherry is here from Texas. Christopher, happy to see you all the way from Ireland. I love that. Catherine, hello from the UK. And by the way, Catherine, you are a moderator of this channel now. Catherine is one of my Career Academy members, and she is helping us in the chat today. My team is also in the chat as well. We are going to be taking your questions. We're just going to be moderating, making sure everything goes smooth. Marcus from DC. Ken, hello. I already said hi to you. Frederick is here from Campbell. Hello. Happy to have you. So happy to see you guys. If you are not yet logged into your YouTube account, make sure you log in so that you can participate with us in the chat. I share a lot of information and I ask you guys a lot of questions. So make sure you're getting in the chat and saying hello and answering the questions that I ask you guys. And again, give this video a big, huge thumbs up. If you know anyone that is in the job search right now that is moving into the job search in 2025, make sure you share this video with them, because what I'm sharing with you guys here today, just so you know, I don't know anyone that's sharing this kind of content for free online right now. So share with whoever you can, because this video is to the public. It's for anyone, anywhere on planet Earth. They can come and watch and join in and participate in the live chat. So I am going to jump into some amazing slides with you. Hopefully we get to all of them. I'm not sure if we will because I have a lot of information. I may save some of it for my special Career Academy members. Amici, I'm so happy to see you here. I haven't seen you in the live chat for a while, coming all the way from UK. And by the way, Amici is one of our amazing Career Club members on Facebook. If you guys have not yet joined that group, make sure you go to Facebook and join the Career Club. We have close to 20,000 members in there. He is one of our amazing career coaches / career experts that help job seekers every day when they pop in for questions. And that is a free group. So let me jump into some slides with you guys, because we have so much darn information to cover, and specifically pertaining to AI and what is going to work in 2025 and what won't work in 2025 when it comes to your job search. So here's what I want you guys to do. For those that are here with us live, or if you're catching the replay, if you do not have our newest resume pack, I want you to go to heatheraustin.online/resume pack. I have also included a link for you at the top of this chat box. You should also, I think I've included it in the description below the video if you're watching this on a replay. If not, I'll pop it into the description once we finish the live stream today. This resume pack has an amazing resume template, an example, plus I have a handful of chat or AI prompts for you to use to help you write your resume. So make sure you, if you haven't gotten that already, go to heatheraustin.online/resume pack. The other thing I want you to keep in mind, we are talking a lot about AI. I'm going to share with you my 2 top free AI tools that I want you to be using if you have not yet started using AI just on a daily basis, right? And specifically in your job search. So the very first one that we're going to use, well, hang on, let me get my slide back up here. The very first one that I want you to make sure you're using, if you haven't yet started doing this, is Chat GPT. So you can go to chat.openai.com and you can actually sign up for a free account. If you want to pay the $20 a month for a paid account, you can do that too, but that is available to you for free. The other thing, if you decide you don't want to use Chat GPT, you also have the option to use Gemini by Google. So go to geminigoogle.com. These are two of my favorite AI assistants that I use on a daily basis, almost with everything that I do, just from asking basic questions about how to cook something, to helping me write an email, to helping me talk to my kids' teachers at the school if I need to, right? These two are the two resources that you want to make sure you get in your back pocket and that you are using one or the other. You don't have to use both. I suggest using one or the other. Now, the other thing that I want you to keep in mind, we are currently in the process, well, we just started this today as I'm live, of the biggest sale of the year on our career advancement toolkit. So I'm going to share a little bit more about the toolkit as I get toward the end of today's information and presentation. Just so you know, we have not done a flash sale on the toolkit since July. And before that, it was like at the beginning of the year. We've only held a flash sale on the toolkit a couple times this year because we've had other promotions and other things going on. If you do not have this resource already, I highly recommend sticking around until the end to learn how you can get it, because this is the biggest sale of the year. We don't know when we're going to offer it again. In fact, moving into 2025, we'll be making lots of changes and price increases and all that stuff. So stick around to the end to learn more about that. The other thing I want you to stick around for, at the very end, I'm going to be sharing where you can join me on Thursday, December 19th, so in a couple of days, an invite-only link to a bonus career and job search coaching session. Here's the thing. We have invited Ben White, who is a recruiting leader from Ben Talks Talent. He's on YouTube, if you guys don't know him already. He actually leads a high-performing team of recruiters, and he's going to be joining us to share the biggest mistakes job seekers make from a recruiter's perspective. And he has a lot of information for you guys. He's going to be giving strategies to help you improve and get hired in 2025. And this is from his, how many ever years of experience he has as a recruiter, plus all of his recruiters that he manages. He's going to be giving us all the insider goods. So that's happening on Thursday. So you need to stick around to learn how you can join us for that. Now, quick question for you. Before I get into all the amazing information I have, I want to know in the chat, what is your biggest AI challenge right now? So if you think about using AI for your job search, or even just AI in general, and maybe it's just that you haven't even started using AI yet, what is your biggest AI challenge right now? Pop that into the chat. While you're typing that in, I'm going to share with you guys just really quickly what we are covering today. And by the way, this is a power pack session, so you're definitely going to want to take notes. You don't have access to these slides, but you can take screenshots and you can take notes. So we are going to be talking about how employers are using AI in 2025 and what that means for you. We'll also be talking about how you can create an ATS-friendly resume that gets noticed and lands interviews faster. So we're going to be tying a lot of my AI prompts in that I have for you, and just how to pass the ATS system, which I know a lot of you have questions about that. We're also going to be talking about how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile with AI-driven enhancements. So you'll want to stick around for that, because I have some more prompts that I want to share with you to help you quickly optimize your LinkedIn profile. We'll be talking about how to boost your interview confidence using AI-powered tools and simulations. We did a lot of research on this one because I wanted to share with you guys the best AI tools to help you do your mock interview. So stick around for that. And then, of course, I can't leave you without sharing the common pitfalls that I'm seeing job seekers make when it comes to overusing AI. So we're going to jump into that in a second. Let me see what your biggest challenges are when it comes to using AI. So, and I get a lot of people that talk about they've never used it before. And I know a lot of you have, especially if you are a longtime viewer of my channel. You'll definitely want to tune in for all the amazing AI tips I have. So Salvi says not accurate or not relevant answers. I love that one. That's a good one. And that's where you do have to double check. Again, we're going to be talking about the over-reliance on AI in just a minute. Lindsay says, I think that I'm not sure what I can type or ask to yield the best results for a specific situation. I love that, Lindsay. So if you guys have not yet downloaded my ATS-friendly resume pack, it does include, and I'll share with you in a second here, it does include some prompts to help you get started. And I'll be sharing more prompts with you during today's session to help you get started on what to even ask it, because I know that that is something that a lot of you struggle with, is what do I even ask AI to help me with this resume or my cover letter or my LinkedIn profile. So we're going to be sharing a lot of that. Love all these comments. Keep typing in what your biggest challenge is using AI, and it could be just in general. Maybe you don't even have an account on ChatGPT or Google Gemini. That's okay. Hopefully you'll get one today. All right, so let's look at how employers are using AI in 2025 and really what this means for you. So we did a lot of research on, because these numbers and statistics change a lot, and then depending on where you go to get your information, a lot of this changes. But one of the statistics that we found is that 99% of Fortune 500 companies, 99%, are using some form of AI to screen and filter top candidates. So I want to share with you really quickly what that looks like and how they're using these AI systems so that you can combat that, right? And you can land in the door for an interview. So we know that they're using it for resume screening. We know that they're using it for candidate sourcing. If you guys know, or if you've had a message from a recruiter on LinkedIn, LinkedIn has a lot of amazing tools that recruiters are using to help them find and recommend candidates based on their skills, their titles, their experience, so on and so forth. We also know that employers are using AI for their interview prep screening, right? So this helps them analyze your body language. It helps them analyze your responses. It helps them analyze the tone of your voice. So again, this is when I start talking about the interview prep portion. You want to tune in for that because you need to be practicing that. If they're giving you some sort of AI interview screening, you need to know what you need to do, right? They're also using AI for skill assessments. So this is to see what type of skill do you have? Are you actually qualified for the position? Can you do the job if they hire you? And then we also know that they are using it for hiring analytics. So they're actually having their HR teams identify hiring trends, such as traits of top performers and top employees. So again, we need to get you prepared for 2025 because 99% of Fortune 500 companies are using some form of AI to hire top talent. Now, my next question for you, how confident are you? And this is again before today's presentation, because hopefully after today, you'll be able to rank a little bit higher. On a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you that your application would make it past AI filters? So on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you that your application would make it past AI filters? Now, while you're typing that in, I want to share just a quick success story with you. So here is a message that we got from Chuck a while back. He says, because I implemented your advice offered on your YouTube videos, so that's all of you guys here today, he says, I have landed the job that I wanted that checks all the boxes. And he goes on to say in record time, just 3 weeks, he says, thank you for your YouTube channel. It's extremely impactful, informative, and effective. I just accepted the offer and I start next week. So by the way, you guys can be another success story just like Chuck. So type into the chat, on a scale of 1 to 5, do you feel like your application would make it past the AI filter? So let me see where you guys are. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of 3s. Good. This is because you guys are regular viewers of this channel, right? Todd says 3. Kevin says 4. Tim says 3. Mark, so happy to see you, says 3. Ken is saying 2. Let's see. We've got a bunch of 4s. Okay, good. I'm not seeing, okay, Pamela says 1. I was going to say I'm not seeing any 1s, but Pamela, that's okay because you're going to get some action tools today that will hopefully help you rank a little bit higher on that AI system. Now, while you guys are thinking about if you're going to pass the ATS or the AI, let's talk about how to create an ATS-friendly resume. Now, I'm not going to go into massive detail on how to do the resume. I have resume masterclasses. I have resume-specific workshops that I host frequently. We even have like a resume and cover letter workshop that we host. But I do want to share with you guys some of the most important features or parts of an ATS-friendly resume. So we're going to talk a little bit about what the ATS is, what key features you need to think about with the ATS. I want to talk to you about also how you're writing your resume for ATS and the human reader, because we need to think of both of them at the same time. We'll talk a little bit about your achievement statements and then really the power of keywords. So if you do not know what the ATS system is, all you need to remember here is it's some sort of software tool, software application, AI system that streamlines the hiring process for employers. So they're really looking at reviewing your information, ranking your information, and filtering you based on what they know about you. So it's super important that you're getting in the door and making sure you are getting all the right information to them so that they can invite you in for an interview, and then hopefully you're landing the job offer. So here's another article that we found from Forbes, and this was a study done by the Harvard Business School. They did a study and they found that 88% of employers believe that qualified candidates, so this could be you, were filtered out by screening software. So why is this happening? Why are qualified candidates getting filtered out by their screening software? It's because you're not putting in the required information so that you're not filtered out. So I'm going to share with you how you need to do that. Now take a screenshot of this next screen if you want to. The key features of an ATS-friendly resume. So I want you to keep this in mind. And by the way, when I share with you guys, if you do not already have the Career Advancement Toolkit, we have specific resume writing video lessons that take you through each of the sections of your resume so that you know how to write your resume. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on that today, but here's just a quick overview of what you need to make sure you're doing to make sure your resume is ATS friendly. So of course, we're using standard headings. What this means is things like work experience, education, technical skills. We're not going to get creative with our headings. We're using standard headings. We're not going to have an overly creative designed resume. Now, I mentioned this on the last live stream. I use Canva a lot for lots of different things. Do not go to Canva to create your resume. Please, 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 please do not do that. If you create your resume on Canva, an ATS system cannot read your creative, beautiful looking resume. You need to keep it simple. You also want to stick to clean layouts, right? So again, we're not going to use graphics. We're not going to insert pictures. We're not going to insert weird bullet points. We're not doing any of that. You also want to make sure you use standard fonts. I think we have all of our resume templates right now in Cambria. If you wanted to change it to Times New Roman, you could. If you wanted to change it to Calibri, you could do that as well. And then, of course, we're always avoiding tables and columns. So the picture that I have on the left, this is just this is actually one of our free resume templates that we have. This is looks like a 1-page, right? I also have an example of a 2-page resume in there where I give you all the different options that you can add to a second page if you do have a second page, but just know you're keeping it simple and clean. One more thing that's not on the screen here, I want you to I want you to think about how you're submitting your resume. So you either want to have a PDF or a Word. If it's in Word, it's actually preferred by the ATS because it's easier for them to read that. However, if you're submitting it to a person, I want you to have it in a PDF format. Now, there's 3 main sections of the resume you have to keep in mind. And these are the most important ideas when it comes to the resume. And again, I have specific lessons inside of the toolkit that will help you actually write your resume if you're interested in joining us there. So you always want to make sure when we're writing the ATS, we're writing for the ATS and the humans. So this is both of them combined. You want to focus on clarity. So this is where you're really focusing on your measurable achievements. You're going to use action words if you need to. Well, not if you need to, but you need to use action verbs. You're going to use numbers. You're going to be very specific on what it is that you've done. And I'll show an example of that in a second. The resume summary, in my opinion, is still one of the most important pieces of a resume. Now, I have a very specific structure or framework that I follow when I teach you how to write your resume summary. Some resumes might have a larger summary than others. It just depends on your experience. your talents, the position you're applying for, the industry you're in. But the resume summary, hands down, is the very first place that they're going to look to learn more about you. And then, of course, your work experience. So you need to make sure when you're writing your work experience that you're prioritizing your responsibilities based on the position that you are applying for. Now, again, I'm going to share with you in a minute a prompt that will help you kind of get started on your resume. If you have not yet downloaded the free ATS-friendly resume pack, make sure you do that, because that's going to give you some more prompts to work with to help you write your work experience section. Now, when it comes to the work experience or your bullet points, so this is probably one of the next most important parts of your resume, I want you to keep this formula in mind. So take a screenshot of this if you want. This is a new formula. I think I shared this on my last live stream. I want you to think about, you're going to analyze the job posting, right? So I'm going to give you a prompt for that in just a second. You want to align that job posting with keywords, with skills, and with experiences that are being highlighted in the posting. And then you need to adapt, okay? So you need to adapt your resume summary, the title, the order of your achievements to show the versatility of the role. Now, I know this is a lot to digest here. Take a screenshot of this. You guys can always watch this on replay if you need to. And then hopefully, for those that have been with me a long time, hopefully this is a really, really, really good refresher to help you remember how to really structure your resume. Now, I want to share an example with you when we're talking about writing your bullet points for your resume. So we have a before our bullet point is ATS optimized, and we have an after our bullet point is ATS optimized. So something like, and by the way, we look at hundreds of resumes every week here, and we always get these blanket statements that are something like worked on sales team and met targets, right? Well, what's missing from that? That's just a blanket statement. You're not really telling me a lot about what the results were. You're not really telling me a lot about how you got there. You're just saying worked on sales team and met targets. So if we want to ATS optimize this, we're going to say something like achieved 120% of quarterly sales targets by identifying new business opportunities and cultivating client relationships. So I do have a formula for how you follow this, but again, we're not going to dive super deep into the resume because that's in the toolkit, and then I have other master classes I have for that. But what I want you to keep in mind here, we have a quantifiable achievement. We're actually sharing the result at the beginning, which is amazing. We're telling them what we've done, and we're telling them what that looks like, right? So we cultivated client relationships, we identified new business opportunities, and that helped us achieve 120% of quarterly sales. So again, we're not going to just do one quick little sentence. We need to really explain what it is we've done, what the task is, and what the result was of that. So keep that in mind when you guys are writing your achievement statements for your resume and even for your LinkedIn profile. Now, I want to share a quick prompt with you. This is inside of the ATS-friendly resume pack. If you don't have that, again, go to heatheraustin.online/resume pack. You'll have the chat GPT, or I call it chat GPT, but it's AI because I'm alternating between AI tools right now. I use both of them, Gemini and chat GPT. But this is a prompt that you can use if you're trying to figure out, and again, this comes back to the power of keywords. If you're trying to figure out what do I need to make sure I mention in my resume. So I'm going to say something like, here's a job description for a position I'm interested in. Can you analyze it and identify the top 10 to 15 key skills required for this role? And I'm going to paste the job description in. Now I want to share let me share with you guys this sheet really quick. So let me see if I can get to it. Here we go. Okay, so this sheet here, this is actually the Google Doc that you will look at when you download your ATS-friendly resume pack. You'll get a folder with your resume template, your resume example, and a handful of prompts. This prompt is in here, along with a bunch of other prompts. This is kind of your starting point to using AI in some way. So make sure that you download that so that you have access to the prompts and you have access to the resume template and so on and so forth. Now, my next question for you in the chat, So let me pop this up. What's your biggest challenge with your resume? So when you think about writing your resume, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you have? And it could be anything. Maybe you don't know how to quantify your achievements. Maybe you don't know what structure to have. Maybe you don't even know how many pages you should have of your resume. Type into the chat what your biggest challenge is. While you're typing that in, I want to share with you another success story. So again, hopefully all of you that are here, this is going to be you. Amy wrote in and said, I stumbled across one of your videos on YouTube, and I have to say it was the best resume video I have seen. The information you provided was so key and truly helped me overcome the hurdle of writing about myself and putting quantifiable achievements into my resume. She says, I was able to land the exact job I was after with a 30% salary increase. She said, the hiring manager mentioned in my interview that my resume was highly spoken about within the HR department, which is a first for me. So if you guys are paying attention to what I'm teaching you, if you decide to join us in the toolkit, you guys are going to have success like all the amazing people that I introduce you to here on this channel. So let me see where you are in the chat. And by the way, if you guys do have questions, pop those in. I will be taking those. Well, and I hopefully can get to them while we're here. If so, I mean, we could be online for quite a while if I try and answer all of them, but I do want to see where you guys are in the chat. Let's see. Ryan, I'm going to pop your comment up. Ryan says, do numbers and percent signs matter more to the ATS than writing out the number or the word percent? That's a good question, Ryan. I think that you could do either or. I think the ATS is smart enough to know if you're writing percent, it's percent. If you're giving, I would probably do the sign percent, but you know, if not, I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. I think that's a good question though. Let's see. Lindsay said, is there a workaround for the desired quantifiable metric values if you just plain never got that information while you worked? Oh, this is a good question. Does that put my resume at a major disadvantage? So here's where I like to say you need to use estimates. Now we do know it might not be 100% correct, but if there's any way you could add some sort of estimate or an idea of what that might look like, that would be the best thing. Numbers at the end of the day are the best way for hiring managers, recruiters, the ATS system to really measure what your results have been in a previous position and to determine how are you going to help us in the future, right? Are you going to be able to have that same impact with our company? So I would say at the bare minimum, if you could kind of get estimates in there and know that it's not 100% accurate and don't feel bad that it's not 100% accurate, right? Good question, Lindsay. All right, let's jump into, well, I'm gonna share with you guys in just a second, number 3. But remember, the biggest sale of the year is happening right now on the Career Advancement Toolkit. I'll share with you guys in just a little bit here where you can grab that. We do have a bonus job search and career coaching session happening on Thursday that you'll be invited to with Ben from Ben Talks Talent, and an amazing recruiter. Manages a huge team of high-performing recruiters. He's going to give us some amazing content on Thursday. So let's talk about how we're going to optimize your LinkedIn profile with AI enhancement. So if you've ever seen any of my live streams, I have 7 areas. So get ready to take a screenshot of this, okay? Because we're not going to go into detail on each section because it would take us all day long. In fact, we are going to be hosting a 3-day LinkedIn mini series in January, and we'll be diving deep into every single piece of your LinkedIn profile that you need to optimize. But take a screenshot of this. So this is our LinkedIn. These are the 7 areas that I always recommend if you're just getting started on LinkedIn, or maybe you've been on LinkedIn for a while and you're just like, what should I even work on? Take a screenshot of this. These are the 7 things that I don't want you to pay attention to anything else on LinkedIn. Don't do anything until this information is optimized. Your professional profile photo, you know that it needs to be professional. You need to be smiling. I want to see it from the chest up, have a close-up. I mean, some people say you could take a picture with your phone. You can, that's okay. If you can go get a professional headshot, that's even better. Just make sure it's nice and professional and there's no distractions. Your industry specific headline. I have very, very, very specific ways of writing a headline when it comes to LinkedIn. In fact, I share 3 methods. We're not going to get into those today, but just know that needs to be optimized. I'm going to share a prompt with you in just a second that will take care of some of this for you. Your catchy about summary. So again, that's your description kind of who you are, what you do, who you help, what you're passionate about, why you're doing what you're doing, right? That's also in there. Your detailed work history. So your positions that you've held. I'd love to see you get some quantifiable achievements on each of those positions. Your education and certifications. If you don't have formal education, add some certifications, add some training, show that you're doing something in your industry to stay relevant or whatever that might be. Relevant skills and endorsements. That's a whole nother lesson that we could talk about, skills and endorsements on LinkedIn. In fact, LinkedIn is going on, they're using a skills-based recruiting approach right now. So if you do not have your skills section optimized, you're missing out on key opportunities. So that's another section you need to work on. And then of course, influential recommendations. That's where you're getting recommendations from colleagues, previous supervisors, teachers, bosses, people you've worked on special projects with, whatever that might be, so that they can vouch for you and for how amazing you are. So when someone goes to your profile, they can say, oh, okay, this person really, really is who they say they are, right? So again, take a screenshot of this. I know that's a lot to digest, but those are the 7 areas of LinkedIn that need to be optimized for your profile. Now I'm going to share with you, and by the way, this is not in, I guess I could pop it into the document. This is not in the Google Doc, the must-have ChatGPT prompts for job seekers. I have never shared this one before. In fact, let me see if I can hurry and copy it and paste it into the doc really quick. So I have a prompt for cover letters. If anyone's in there right now, you'll be able to see this. I'm going to paste that into the doc for you so that you have that. This is a prompt for your LinkedIn profile. So what you're going to do here is you're basically asking, let me highlight that. You're asking your AI assistant, right, to help you with your LinkedIn profile in terms of your headline, your work experience, and your summary. So those are the most important sections on LinkedIn. So I'm going to say something like, I'm a current, whatever, give your job title with X number of years in whatever field you're in, right? My key strengths include, and then you're going to list top skills or qualities relevant to your career goals. Please help me write an engaging and keyword-rich LinkedIn, and then you're going to say headline, summary, experience, description, whatever it is that you're writing at that time that highlights my expertise in, give the specific areas, and appeals to recruiters looking for candidates for, and then give the target job title or the role. And then you're going to say include industry specific language and measurable achievements if possible. So it's going to give you a draft. Keep in mind, you're not going to always take this draft and copy and paste it and use exactly what it says. What do you need to do to the draft? You need to personalize it. You might need to go back into AI and say, hey, I like that you mentioned this skill, but can you instead now mention this skill? Or I like that you mentioned this, but can you enhance or add a little bit more detail to that? So you need to, it's like you're having a conversation with it, right? So take a screenshot of this. I'm going to place this inside the doc right now as we are online. And I know the formatting might not be right. When you guys go to the doc, in fact, let me open it up for you so you can see exactly what I'm doing. When you do go to this doc, you will need to make a copy of this to save it on your own computer. So keep that in mind, and I'll fix the formatting later, but just so you know, that is there for you. Did I spell that right? Hang on, let me see. Yeah, I did. Okay. So I have a cover letter prompt and a LinkedIn prompt. And then, of course, all of your resume prompts are in there. That is for free for you guys. Now, if you do decide to join us inside of the Career Advancement Toolkit, we have 120 plus job seeker prompts for you where we target each area of your job search, from what positions should you be looking for. We target how to negotiate your salary, how to write your resume, how to write your cover letter. We go really deep into these AI prompts, and then I show you specifically how to actually use AI to do that. Now, my next question for you. Which section, so I shared with you guys 7 areas of LinkedIn, which section of your LinkedIn profile needs the most work? So which section of your LinkedIn profile needs the most work? Let me just see if, okay. I know there's a lot of questions. Let me see. Yes, awesome. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Catherine. You guys are awesome. Yes, good, Lindsay. So happy to see you again here, Lindsay. I know you were here last week or last time we did this. Just underscore simply said, if we are unemployed, what would we put on LinkedIn summary description? I don't even think you need to mention unemployed. I think that if you're mentioning unemployed, you're drawing attention to that. We don't want to draw attention to that you are unemployed. In fact, I do in my LinkedIn trainings, I do share with you guys that you're never going to add anything in your headline that says actively seeking work, actively doing, unemployed, looking for new opportunities. We're never going to put that. What you're focusing on is you're focusing on the position you want, your talents and your skills, and how that makes you the top candidate for that role, regardless if you're employed or not. We're not even mentioning that. If a recruiter or a hiring manager if they want to dig deeper to learn more about that, they can go and look at your work history, and then maybe they could ask you questions for it. Now, if you are transitioning careers, I think the About section is a fantastic place to add that you're transitioning. Yeah, a lot of you guys are mentioning the About section. Tim says recommendations. I would say, Tim, I'm on the same page as you. I need to get some more recommendations on my profile. And I'm like the worst at asking people for that, right? Or looking and seeking that. So I have a whole lesson. In fact, that lesson is inside the toolkit on how to go get recommendations. I give you templates to help you ask people for recommendations. In fact, let me share Eric's success story. He said, after using you as a resource for creating and optimizing my LinkedIn page and my resume, I've been highly sought after. He said, I've applied for 10 jobs. I got 10 hits, and they all have given me interviews and continue to move through the process. He says, I just want to say thank you very much. You are undoubtedly the best at what you do. That was such a nice message from Eric. Now let's look at our next idea here when it comes to mastering AI, what works and what doesn't in 2025. So this is really where we want to use AI to boost your confidence. And I want you to get really familiar with using AI-powered tools and simulations. So I'm going to share with you a couple of resources. Again, you're going to need to take some screenshots because I have a number of websites to share with you. The two free AI-powered interview coaching tools that I've shared before is Interview Warm-Up by Google and Interview Prep by LinkedIn. You can easily go in and start using those today. Let me show you just a little bit of what Interview Warm-Up looks like. You're going to jump in, you'll say start practicing, and it's going to kind of lead you through the way. Interview Prep by LinkedIn, similar, except for you're going to practice the most commonly asked interview questions, right? And you can record a video or you can even write a response. Those are the two. So Interview Warm-Up by Google and Interview Prep by LinkedIn. Now, I want to share with you, and I've never shared this before. We did a little bit of research on this before I put this slide together because I wanted to make sure we were sharing with you the tools that we thought would help you the most. Here are 5 other AI-powered interview coaching tools. And think of these as like your practice or your mock interview tools. Take a screenshot of this. I'll read these here in just a second. What I want you to keep in mind with these tools, most of them offer some sort of free version, right? Like, for example, I think it's AI Apply that allows you to answer 3 questions a month or something, right? But then you can start paying for like a monthly membership. Some of them are $9 a month. Some of them are $29 a month. And you can start getting deeper into the interview process. I would highly recommend experimenting with the free version of these first before you go into the paid version, right? So you have Himalayas, and I have that there. You have Rezi.ai. And by the way, let me know in the chat, yes or no, have you ever heard of any of these other AI interview prep tools? You have interviewsby.ai, you have interviewprep.ai, and then you have AI apply. So I've given you the links to each of these. You could even just go into Google and type Himalayas or Rezi.ai, and it will take you to each of these tools. While you guys are taking a screenshot and letting me know that you are using AI, type into the chat yes or no if you have heard of any of these AI tools before. Okay, I want to answer this other question while you guys are typing that in. So just_simply asked another question about the open to work banner, as she said, or he, I'm not sure if it's a he or she, question, should you use the open to work banners as recruiters to see on LinkedIn? So I don't recommend you use the open to work feature for the entire world to see, right? You can put that banner on your profile. I still don't recommend doing that. You can go into the back end of LinkedIn and you can actually tell it to notify recruiters that you are open to new opportunities without using that banner. That's my personal preference. I still like it to be off because I think it's a distraction. I think it shows desperation, but that doesn't mean that recruiters won't know, because you can still go in and tell LinkedIn to let recruiters know that you're open to work. Good question. Okay, most of you haven't even heard of these, and that's okay. That's okay. These are amazing tools. Once you get to that process, that point in the process, then make sure you get in and start practicing with your interviews, okay? All right, let's go to, oh, you know what? What else do I have for you? Okay, I do have another prompt. And you know what? I think I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this prompt because this is a big one. This is actually for if you're doing in the interview process, but I'm going to save that. I'm going to place this prompt. It's a brand new one inside of the toolkit for all the individuals that decide to join us in there. But let me ask you this question. I want to know, what is one of your greatest strengths? So type into the chat, what is one of your greatest strengths? So if you're thinking about, you're going to the interview, you're telling your folks how amazing you are, you want this top job offer, what are you going to tell them is one of your greatest strengths? While you're typing that in to the chat, I want to share another success story with you. So this came from Michael, and he says, thank you for the amazing, insightful videos. I applied for a position with my state on 3 separate occasions and did not get the job. He said, prior to my 4th attempt, which I was hesitant to do, I discovered your videos and studied them day in and day out. And he said, guess what? I got the job. So again, we want you guys to be part of our amazing success story community. If you have success stories like this, email us, let us know. All these folks email us and I say, hey, can I have your headshot? Because I want to share this with all my amazing people on YouTube. Yeah, type into the chat what one of your greatest strengths is. While you're typing that in, let's really quickly talk about the pitfalls that you need to avoid when it comes to overusing AI. And I know some of you had mentioned in the beginning some of those pitfalls, but really quickly, and this is just a 1-slide approach to the pitfalls, is generic applications. So if we're depending too much on AI, this is what ends up happening. The applications become generic. We end up doing keyword stuffing, which is not good. We overscript our answers, right? And maybe that's for the interview. Maybe that's even on your LinkedIn profile, wherever that is. And then there is a lack of personalization. So again, screenshot this if you need to. Generic applications, keyword stuffing, overscripting answers, and lack of personalization. Now, let me tell you this. I love AI so much. I use it every day with almost everything I do. However, I use it as a tool. I use it as an assistant, not as my my crutch. I don't use it to take care of all my things that I need to do. I use it as an assistant to help me go or point me in the right direction. I use it to maybe take some of those mundane tasks off my plate, or maybe things that would take a lot of brain power to think about. I use it for that. I don't use it to do everything for me. And I always, 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 without a doubt, have to read line for line everything it gives me and make sure that I am personalizing everything it's giving me and making sure it's not over scripted, making sure it's not generic, making sure there's not keyword stuffing in there, right? So I want you guys to keep this in mind when you are using AI in your job search. So question for you. Based on everything that I've shared with you guys here today, what one action step will you take? So based on everything I shared, what one action step will you take? Now, before this training, we might have had over 2,000 people register for this training today. And a lot of folks had shared with me what their biggest challenges in their job search right now. Based on, and I'm going to share some of the responses with you, what one action step will you take today? Some of you had mentioned that you want the right recruiters and the right companies to reach out to you, that you're done with all the spam job postings, that you want to attract higher quality career opportunities. Some of you even mentioned that you want to be more confident in making connections on LinkedIn, going into your interviews. You don't want to, you're done feeling awkward, or, you want to have that confidence back when it comes to the job application. Some of you even mentioned that the AI world is confusing to you, that you're not sure how to use AI in the job search. At the end of the day, I know that most importantly, or what's most important to you, is that you want a life-changing job offer, that you want a better work-life balance, that you want more time doing things you love, right? Especially during this time of year, that you want to spend more time with people that you love. Now, everything that I've shared with you guys today, granted, I shared a lot of information with you. Everything that I've shared with you it's not magic. It's not just pie in the sky type information. These are tools that I teach my Academy members, that I teach my TOOLKIT members, that I teach my clients and my students to help them land interviews and top job offers at the largest companies in the world: Google, Facebook, Amazon, Intel, Disney, whoever it is, and even small companies. We don't just go for the big companies. But I know that what I have when I teach you guys this is I know I have a step-by-step system that works. And if it works for my clients and my students, I know that it can work for you. And that's why I want to invite you to join us inside of the Career Advancement Toolkit during our biggest sale of the year. Now, the Career Advancement Toolkit is an elite career bundle, video lessons, templates, guides, instructions, and examples to help you secure your next job offer. And it's really where we want you to be able to apply an interview with confidence. I'm going to share another success story with you. And this is from Andrea. Let me put my glasses on. Andrea wrote in and said, I acquired the Career Advancement Toolkit along with Resume Mastery Pro. She said, my heartfelt gratitude goes out to you for all the outstanding content and helpful materials you provided. You fostered a supportive community, reassuring me that I wasn't alone and that numerous other gifted individuals were facing the same challenges as myself. She says, tomorrow marks the beginning of my new role as Director of Operations. I firmly believe that this role at this organization will offer me the platform to display my expertise and experience, fostering both my professional and personal development and facilitating upward progression with the enterprise. So she goes on to say, I have enthusiastically suggested to numerous job seekers to follow you on LinkedIn and take advantage of the resources and video sessions you offer, which, by the way, you guys are here taking advantage of the video sessions. So Andrew was able to land a new role as the Director of Marketing Operations after she enrolled in the Career Advancement Toolkit, and she got the resources that she needed to make that work. Now, I want to share, I'm going to share a video testimonial with you really quick. I did try and share Pam's story with you at one of our live sessions, but when her video was playing, like a couple weeks back or a month back, I realized it was like our 20-minute, our entire interview or our entire session. I'm like, they're not going to stick around for 20 minutes to listen to Pam, but I'm going to pop her up right now, and then I'll see you on the other side, and I'm going to share with you guys exactly what is inside the toolkit. So here's Pam.
So I'm Pam Pridgeon. I'm a senior contract manager for Allina Health. We're one of the largest care systems in the Twin Cities. A person that I work with had, I'm not going to say insider information, but information about the organization that we all knew we were having financial difficulties and we had a reduction in force coming. We just didn't know where it was going to hit, who it was going to hit, or how it was going to all play out. I didn't want to get caught being part of a RIF and not have everything in place to start looking if I needed to. I had not updated my resume in 15 years, maybe. Very outdated from just what the market's looking for today. I knew I needed a refresh, but I wasn't quite sure how to do that myself. And so I had one person that I work with who signed up with somebody to let somebody else write their resume. Very expensive to have that done. When I learned what she was paying for that, I thought, wow, okay. And what was interesting is her finished product and my finished product, after going through your toolkit, followed all the examples, your action statements on how to write, your results oriented components of it, the refresh on the LinkedIn page under, kind of that about me. It was interesting because I felt like I actually liked mine more than I liked hers.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, you paid for this. Okay. I think I got a better deal here. I redrafted my resume. I came up with a few different versions of cover letters, which I had written a cover letter, obviously, in many, many years. And then I went through and used it to update my LinkedIn page. I made the effort to go out and get references. You talked in some of your videos about AI and the automated deselection almost is kind of how I took it, that you go through when you send stuff through portals or online, and making sure that, the right buzzwords were in there depending on what I was applying for, and then tweaking as I kind of applied for different things. It was interesting. Once I updated my LinkedIn profile piece, I suddenly had a lot of people reaching out to me, but it was really kind of bizarre to me because I had people reaching out to me from completely different industries, wanting to know if I wanted to leave healthcare and go do contracting in some other industry. And that was a new experience. So
Yeah. Is there like a specific aha moment that you can pinpoint?
when you actually started talking about your jobs, the more action-oriented and results-oriented statements, it had never occurred to me to write it in that fashion. And I felt like once I understood that concept, actually sitting down and writing my resume was really easy. I guess the big aha for me was, this isn't my job description.
What was the most beneficial or played like the biggest role in your job search?
The resume template. One, because again, in some of your videos, you had talked about how you format so that you don't get kicked out from AI. I felt like the template gave me the framework, and then I could write what needed to go in the framework. But one thing I did do was I didn't start with my old resume. I didn't want to be boxed into old ways of thinking. So it was, okay, that's that. This is my template. Now, how do I take what I do today and the successes I've had and put that into this template? So for me, the template was golden. And we were all proofreading each other's stuff. And I actually, people ask me who wrote mine. Oh, I wrote it with
That's awesome. Okay, what I love most about what Pam says is she talks about, and let me know if her story resonates with you, type yes into the chat. She talks about how to write her achievement statement. She didn't know how to write her achievement statement. She didn't know how to put them down on paper. She also talked about formatting her resume for the ATS. She mentioned that the templates, which of course are inside of the Career Advancement Toolkit, helped her get to that place where she could format everything properly, where she could get her achievement statements on paper. And she talked about that framework, right? And her colleagues were asking her, who wrote your resume? And they're like, it was so good. She's like, it was me. And they're like, what? How did you do that? Right? So I love that. I love that story from Pam. So I want to share really quickly what is inside of the Career Advancement Toolkit. And by the way, I have some amazing fast action bonuses with you guys that I will share that in just a second. So So inside of module 1, we talk about building your irresistible resume. So I gave you a lot of information here today when it comes to building your resume, but inside of the toolkit, I give you the exact framework. We have plenty of templates to use. We have our master resume template inside there where you'll actually start with that. In fact, I recommend everyone to start with that. We talk about your resume summary, your achievement statements, the importance of the top half of your resume. We talk about really how to bring everything together when it comes to your resume. The next module inside of the Career Advancement Toolkit is our cover letter module, where you're going to learn how to turn your cover letter into a mini sales presentation. I also talk about your cover letter in terms of not just a formal cover letter, because you might not be asked to send a formal cover letter in a job interview but you do have to know how to introduce yourself in an email or even inside of a LinkedIn connection request or into a message when you're writing to a recruiter. So you still need to know the structure of how to create that mini sales presentation, and that is in module 2. In module 3, we talk about your personal brand and of course your networking strategies using LinkedIn. So this is where we really dive deep into your LinkedIn headline, your LinkedIn summary. I dive deep into your networking strategies. In fact, this is where we have loads and loads of templates on how to network properly inside of LinkedIn, what to say to a recruiter, how to follow up with a recruiter, how to network with a CEO of a company, how to network with someone that could be your potential boss inside of a company. Inside of module 4, we talk about how to ace your interviews with fantastic follow-ups. So when it comes to the interview, you may have a phone interview, you may have a video interview, you may have a second interview, a third interview. Maybe you didn't even hear back after you had an interview. So we have loads of templates to help you craft those perfect follow-ups, including a job rejection follow-up, including accepting and declining job offers. All of that is inside of module 4. Inside of module 5 is where we help you master your job search, where you actually have access to our job search tracker to help you keep track of really important information in your job search. Like, when did you apply for the position? Who did you reach out to? When did you last hear back? What are the top skills that they want in a top candidate for that position? So this really helps you prioritize and organize your job search. Inside of module 6, we talk about your powerful 30-second pitch. So again, this is where you need to be able to introduce yourself on the fly to anyone, right? And again, this goes in conjunction with your cover letter. It goes in conjunction with when you go into an interview and they say, hey, tell me about yourself, right? What are you going to say? Maybe you're at a networking event. Maybe you're just randomly on LinkedIn one day and you want to introduce yourself to someone, right? This is where we take you through the exact step of writing your powerful 30-second pitch. Now, we do have our Career Experts template and example vault, which, by the way, and if you are currently a toolkit user, if you do not have this in your online library, please, please, please email me at heather@professораustin.com. We just added all of our templates and our examples to a template vault. And I say there's 60, but there's way more than 60 templates and examples in there. We even have our AI templates in there that will help you learn how to use AI. You can change what I have, you can customize it, but it gives you a really, really, really good understanding. And by the way, I'll also share this page with you guys in just a second so that you can go in and look at just an example of what some of these templates and examples are inside of the toolkit. Now, we do have some bonuses for you when you join us inside the toolkit. Now, remember, this is a 2-day holiday flash offer. We have not offered the toolkit in this way since July. So we don't know when we're going to offer it again. It could be next July that we offer it. But since July, we have not offered the toolkit in this way. So if you decide to join us inside the toolkit, you'll also get a bonus job interview confidence training. So again, this walks you through the 4-step system to master your neck. By the way, I'm looking over here because my enrollment page is on this screen over here. If you're wondering, what's she looking at? You're going to learn how to master your job interview. You're going to learn how to answer the most commonly asked interview questions. You'll learn how to manage your nerves in an interview, what questions you should ask in an interview. One of the other powerful bonuses is our 120 plus AI powered prompts. Now, I gave you guys access to just a handful of prompts today. We have 120 prompts that help you go through every phase of the job search. So you'll definitely want to snag that if you're going to join us inside the toolkit. We have our LinkedIn job search and thought leadership training. So this is where we talk a lot about all those little areas that I shared with you that you need to optimize on LinkedIn. We go into detail into every single one of those. Plus, I go into detail about how you can become a thought leader, what you should be posting on your LinkedIn news feed, different types of posts you can make. We talk a little bit about the back end of LinkedIn, like maybe not using that open to work feature, but instead signaling to recruiters that you are open without having to notify the entire world, right? So that is in there as well. We have our exclusive bonus, which is a job search mastery mini series. Now, here's the thing about this. We debated adding this into the toolkit because this is such a valuable resource. It's 7 hours of job search training. So in addition to everything else that you're getting inside the toolkit, you also get 7 hours of job search training if you decide to join us in there. And again, we talk about every phase of the job search. We go deeper again into the resume. I share with you guys the job search life cycle, which involves 7 different categories. We talk a little bit about your cover letter, LinkedIn. We talk about everything in this series. You can't find this series anywhere else. It's only inside of the Career Advancement Toolkit. And then I got to share with you our fast action bonus. This will be gone by the end of the day. So if you are on the fence and you're wondering, should I jump in and join this training or join the toolkit? This will go to the very first 20 people that join us. It's a bonus career and job search coaching session on Thursday. So on Thursday, December 19th, goes to the very first 20 people that enroll. This is going to be with Ben from Ben Talks Talent. He is a recruiting leader. And if you guys don't know his channel, you should go watch his channel. He leads a high-performing team of recruiters, and he's going to be joining us on Thursday to share expert strategies from a recruiter's perspective on all the things he's seen that job seekers are doing wrong. You'll have the opportunity to ask him your questions because he's going to be live with us on Zoom and get his perspective on maybe you had a message from a recruiter. You can say, hey, Ben, what does this mean, right? He is an amazing expert. He's going to be sharing what you need to be doing to get hired in 2025. And by the way, for all my amazing Academy members that are here, you guys are part of this, right? So if you have joined us for the Academy in the past, all of my Academy members, you guys are already getting an invite-only link to this. So make sure you join us. If you can't join us live, you will get access to the replay link. The replay link will be sent out once the session wraps. So you guys, this is the best time of the year to join us inside of the Academy. Let me just share with you really quickly the value and all the amazing stuff that you'll get while you're in here. Let me pop this up. So the total value of all the templates, the trainings, the guides, the resources inside the toolkit is worth more than $3,779. You guys are going to probably fall flat on your face when I show you that you're not going to be paying $3,779. You're also not even going to be paying $497, which is a normal price. Today's price, and until Thursday, December 19th, you will be able to access the toolkit for $197. This price is going up at the beginning of the year. We don't know when we're going to even offer the toolkit again. This is our most popular career resource, career bundle. So if you want to join us and you want to be a part of our coaching session on Thursday and grab all those amazing bonuses, go to heatheraustinonline.com/live offer. I will also pop into the chat because I want to make sure I get this pinned for you. This is our biggest sale of the year for this. I'm going to pop this into the chat and then I will pin it to the top of the chat box for those that are here with us live, because let me tell you, the first 20 spots will probably be gone before the end of the day. So if you're on the fence and you're wondering, hey, should I join us? Should I join them in this? Make sure you do it today because you'll want to be able to join us for that call on Thursday. So I'm going to pop that at the very top. I also have, for anyone watching replay, I know there was a lot of people that couldn't join us for this session. For anyone watching the replay, this is also located in the description below this video. So you'll have access to that. We do always offer secure checkout, so you can use PayPal or a credit card if you want. Once you go through the checkout process, you'll see that that's an option. I'm going to share a couple more success stories, and then I do want to take some questions. So Tammy wrote in and said, your course helped me secure a position. Or, excuse me, your course helped me secure a position, a pay rate of $25,000 higher than I had ever been paid. She says, a year later, I received a $7,000 increase. Next year, I joined the six-figure club. She says, my advice to anyone who is looking, do exactly what Heather says. You will succeed. And by the way, if you guys joined us for this live stream or any other training, I give you guys very specific step-by-step strategies that save you time and that get you paid more. So that should be my tagline. I save you time and I help you get paid more. Here's what Josh wrote in. He says, after being laid off, I found your toolkit and it was an absolute game changer. I was getting interview requests like crazy and ended up landing a job for over $50,000 more per year. He says 100% the best investment ever. And then let's see. Oh, Heather. I love Heather. Mainly because she has the same name as me. So she says, I wanted to pop in and give you an update. I landed a job. Your resume and cover letter advice helped me get interviews with almost every company I submitted and an offer that was well above the salary range the company quoted originally. So if you guys think about the theme that these success stories have when I share them with you, again, we're looking at saving you time and helping you land more interviews and secure higher earning job offers. Now, I want to share one more video with you, and then we're going to get to questions, believe it or not. So this is Michael, and I'm going to share his success story with you really quickly, and then I'll see you on the other end of this.
So I'm in the healthcare industry. So I've been in the healthcare industry for over 30 years now. I started off as an X-ray technologist. And then from there, I just started managing large physician groups, multi-specialty groups. I was the vice president of operations, been doing this forever. I utilized your toolkit to help put together my resume and help with me putting together my LinkedIn information and networking, et cetera. So it was a great tool for me to be able to utilize in all of those different areas.
When you purchased the toolkit, were you in the job search or were you just purchasing it to kind of enhance all your career documents?
So I was actually in the job search.
Tell me a little bit about that time. Like, what were you feeling? What challenges were you facing in the job search before you actually invested in the toolkit?
Yeah, it was really all the above. And that's a great question because, I was with Northern Light Health for 7 years. So really I hadn't touched my resume. I haven't really networked. I haven't done any of that stuff because I was in a secure opportunity or a secure job. And so I didn't really see a need to do all of that. And so when I started watching your videos and stuff online, and I learned so much more and thinking, I need to bring myself up to speed on many of those things. And that's where your toolkit really taught me how to network. It taught me how to work on my LinkedIn account. It taught me how to put together my resume and stuff because it has been years since I've done any of that.
Yeah.
So it's been a fantastic journey through that.
What was the most valuable resource for you inside the toolkit?
Yeah, for me, it was the LinkedIn toolkit, just
Awesome.
learning the networking. I've had a LinkedIn account for 100 years, but it wasn't developed like it was supposed to be. And your toolkit helped walk me through that. So it really enabled me to have a much stronger LinkedIn account. And now I think I'm up to like 26,000 people
Awesome.
through
Good for
networking.
you.
Well, thank you. But it's part of going back to your toolkit because your toolkit helped drive me in that direction to help me know how to network, help me know what type of introduction verbiage I should use when I'm reaching out to people to network with, etc. So I found that to be the most beneficial for me.
At the time you invested in the toolkit, you had common job search challenges. What would you say was the biggest milestone that you met just from investing in the toolkit?
I really go back to, and I hate to keep using LinkedIn, but I really do think that that was what helped me land my job here in Tennessee through
Mhm.
CHS, because it was through that networking that I've learned from the LinkedIn toolkit that enabled me to reach out to the people that actually ended up
Yeah.
offering me a job.
If you had a friend right now that was in the job search, they'd lost their job, maybe they were even looking for a promotion or to move on to a new company, what would you tell them about the toolkit?
That anything you can think of is out there. In fact, I do have friends that they haven't updated their resume in many years. They need to start from square one. They haven't updated their resume. They haven't updated their LinkedIn accounts because they've been working for the same organization for many years. You're a one-stop shop, to use that term, because everything is out there.
I love Michael. He's so awesome. So when I talked to him, I was super surprised to learn about the advancements that he made just on LinkedIn. So he hadn't looked for a position in a really long time, didn't know how to network, didn't really know how to use the platform, decided to get in, go dive deep, get his feet to the ground and start working on LinkedIn. He was able to increase his connections, get amazing responses from recruiters and other people on LinkedIn. And he hadn't done that in a long time. He didn't even know the proper job search strategy. So these are the types of things that can happen for you when you join us inside of the toolkit. Really quickly, one last slide, and then I'm going to take some questions. I want to share with you guys at a glance what you have access to when you join us today. 6 learning modules with 35 high impact lessons and video tutorials. You have the Career Experts template and example vault. You have the job interview confidence training. You get access to 120 proven AI job search prompts and tutorial that goes with that. You have our LinkedIn job search and thought leadership training that goes with that. And then, of course, our 3-part job search mastery mini series, which, by the way, is 7 hours of additional job search training. And then our fast action bonus is going to go to the first 20 people that join, which will be gone by the end of the day. If you guys want to listen from a real life recruiter who manages a high performing team of recruiters, ask him your questions and really dive deep into that bonus session with us on the 19th. Make sure you join us as quickly as you can. Limited time access to the curriculum and all the templates. I said limited time. I meant lifetime access. Again, the total value of everything inside the toolkit is $3,779. You're not going to be paying that today. You're not going to be paying our normal price is $497. Today's price is $197. It's our holiday flash offer for the toolkit. We don't know when we're going to offer the toolkit again. And it's definitely not going to be offered at this price, because once 2025 hits, we have additional resources we're going to add to it, and the price will increase. So make sure, if you want to join us for the bonus session on Thursday. And by the way, the 2-day flash offer goes until Thursday. So you still have a little bit of time to decide. If you're like wondering, okay, do I really want to do this? Make sure you look at the enrollment page. Look at all the amazing success stories from our toolkit members and decide from there. But if you want to join us, and I want to give a shout out. I can see a couple of the names popping through for folks that have joined us. I just want to give you guys a shout out because I'm super excited to have you join us inside the toolkit. Let me just mention a couple of you here. And by the way, I do need to get my glasses on because I can't see very well without them. Jane, so happy to have you join us. Jane's joined us in the toolkit. Pamela Watson, happy to have you. I'm so excited to jive with you guys on Thursday at our bonus session. And again, inside the toolkit, you're going to love it. Ernest, so happy that you could join us as well. It looks like Ernest also did our resume and cover letter makeover workshop, as well as our job success blueprint workshop. So those are some amazing add-ons. Love that you decided to join that. Such a great package for you, Ernest. Let's see. Oh, we have Terry that joined us as well. So happy to have you join us, Terry. By the way, for those that are joining us, if you have any questions at all, always email me at heather@professораustin.com. Or if you are thinking about joining us and you have questions, email me at heather@professораustin.com. I do want to make sure, because we have a lot of questions that popped into the chat, I want to make sure I get those answered as well. Okay, I'm going to kind of start from the top and see what I may or may not have missed. And by the way, Catherine, you are such a gem. Catherine is moderating the chat for us today. In fact, Catherine and Tim, I need to have you guys both as moderators on this channel because it's so fun to have you guys. You guys join most of my live streams and I love it. Let's see. I know you guys are talking a lot about Amici, thanks for mentioning that on the Open to Work banner. He says, let me pop his comment on here. And by the way, if you guys are not in our career club on Facebook, let me give you guys that link as well. This is a free membership or a free group that we have on Facebook. We have about close to 20,000 people in this group. Amici is one of our amazing career experts that answer questions. We have a lot of recruiters and amazing career experts in there that if you have a question, you could pop it in and most of the time they'll respond to you and give you some really good feedback. So let me pop that into the chat and that's going to be in there if you guys want to join us. But Amici had said, test out the Open to Work banner to see if this is getting better results. Make sure you're building your network ahead of this, specifically connecting with your recruiters and your hiring managers. Yes, this is so important. So at the end of the day, it's really about those relationships that you're building, the connections you're making. And Michael's story is the perfect example of this. When you learn how to properly connect and network with folks on LinkedIn, it changes the game. I feel like these glasses kind of have a glare. Let me see if I can change to these ones. Oh, that's a little bit better. You guys can see my face a little bit better. Yes, I love it. Okay, let me just see what else we have in terms of questions. Ken, hello, says, isn't AI a tool based on previous human knowledge and experience? That's a deep-rooted question. I don't know, is it? I mean, humans make AI, right? But at the end of the day, I feel like the AI just gets better and better and better and learns more, right? So I remember when I first started teaching you guys about how to use ChatGPT to write your resumes. This is a really good story. When it first came out and we all started using it, I remember I would give it a resume and I would give it a job description all in the same chat, and it would time out. Like it couldn't process, right? But now it's like it whips it out and it knows exactly what I'm doing. It's getting better and better every single day, which is great. It's also a little scary. But all I will say is if you're staying on top of it and you're using it every day, if you do not have AI training under your belt, I would highly recommend. In fact, I would love to know if anyone has done an AI training recently that they would recommend to everyone here in the chat or everyone here watching the replay. You need to be using this on a daily basis because it's got to be part of what you're doing. Employers want you to know how to use this, right? So if you're at least learning how to use it for your job search, which you can learn even more inside the toolkit with our AI training for job seekers, but even just in general, because in fact, I thought about this. I thought if I were to go back and teach, I used to be a university professor, right? Now turned entrepreneur, and now I'm here teaching you guys on YouTube. If I were to go teach a university class about this, I have so many ideas about how I would just teach AI in general, because there's certain ways that you can phrase questions. There's certain commands you can give it to give you totally different results. You guys need to be learning that, and not even just for your job search, but just in general. Yes, Linda asked, will this session be recorded on your YouTube channel? This is a session that will stay on my YouTube channel for a while. So yes, you guys can come back and watch the replay. We covered a lot today. I'm naturally a teacher, so I teach you guys. I probably teach you a little bit too much, right? And it sometimes probably gets overwhelming. But just know we have the tools and the resources for you in any of our programs to help you land your life-changing job offer. And again, to move forward into 2025 so that you're not getting lost in the shuffle, so that you know how to use AI, you know how to write your resume properly, you know how to network properly, all that good stuff. Let's see. What other comment do I want to highlight here? Lindsay, I think I answered your question already. Okay. This is a different question, but Lindsay, you had asked this earlier. Well, you had asked a question that relates. and don't be sorry to ask questions. As long as I'm here, I'm answering your questions. She says, would you suggest for or against asking former employees for suggestions on quantifiable achievements and such? Totally. In fact, I work with clients a lot that still will have like a good working relationship with like their former boss or former colleagues. And if they're totally stuck on what would those quantifiable achievements be, especially if the boss or the colleague still works for the company, you can reach out to them and say, hey, and I don't know if you did performance reviews. This is why performance reviews are so important, because you track that while you're going, right? Or you can start keeping an achievements journal if you don't have that already. But you can reach out and say, hey, do you have an idea of, I know we worked on this big project, but do you have an idea of what the result was, or can you give me some data and numbers? Most of the time, people are pretty decent and they will help you get that information you need. Even if it's not necessarily like a former boss, maybe it's the boss's boss or whatever. I think that's a great idea, Lindsay. I love that. And I know you asked that a little bit earlier. Let's see. Hi, Tim. Okay, I'm going to answer. Oh, Helen asked a question. Is there a resume tailoring prompt? Yes. So inside, I think I actually added one. I'm just looking really quickly if I added this to, I might not have added this one to the free chat or AI prompts for job seekers. I don't think I added it. Nope, I don't have that in there, but I do have that inside of, in fact, there's a number of ways you can ask AI to help you tailor your resume. I think I have a handful of those prompts inside of in the toolkit, in the 120 plus AI prompts. And by the way, for my toolkit users, if you guys already have this as a resource, if you do not have the Career Experts and Template Vault in your library, please, please, please reach out so I can get it added for you. And just email me at heather@professораustin.com. Okay, Tim says, when I use LinkedIn app on my phone, it does not give me the option to add a note when sending a connection request. That's interesting, Tim. It should always ask you to add a note. Well, I'm not going to say it should always ask you, because it doesn't. I have sent a connection request and I forgot to add a note. And so I unsent the connection request, and then I tried to send the connection request again. And just so you know, this might happen to you guys. And it was like, sorry, you can't connect to that person again for another, I think it was like 5 days, or I can't remember. It gave me like a number of days. I'm like, what? This is so dumb. Why would you not let me connect with them again? I just forgot to add the note. I would try and update your app, Tim. And if not, I would jump over to the computer, because those notes are so, so, so powerful. Yes, good. All right, let's see. Okay, Helen, I think I got your question answered. I know you asked that a couple of times. And by the way, if you guys have a question and you want me to answer it, pop question into the, into your question, right? Because it lights up yellow on my end. Ken says the Career Club is an excellent group with good advice and conversations. Thanks, Ken. I love seeing you in the group. Yes, make sure you guys jump over and join that. Okay, I have another question that came in. Is it wise to mention taking internship positions at different companies on the same timeline where I was able to complete both of them successfully? For sure. Yes, you definitely want any internships that you have. If you're doing multiple internships, you add that. Definitely add that either to your resume, to your LinkedIn profile. You can even talk about that in a cover letter, or even, the other way that I teach your cover letter is an introduction email where you say something like, hey, I was doing both internships at the same time, and you say they were both completed successfully. So that's showing that you can multitask, that you can handle a lot of different things at one time and still be successful. So I love that. Good question. Yes, good. I'm loving all the AI talk in here. Okay. Yeah, Helen, I think I got your question answered. Good. All right. Any last minute questions, you guys? I'm going to pop this slide up one last time so that you can see, again, if you decide to join us inside the Career Advancement Toolkit, you will have access to 6 learning modules. Again, there's 35 high impact lessons and video tutorials in there. The Career Experts Template and Example Vault. Your job interview confidence training is in there. Your 120 plus proven AI prompts and training is in there. Your LinkedIn job search and thought leadership training is in there. Your 3-part job search mastery mini series is in there. Of course, the fast action bonus will go to the first 20 people to join us. Let me pop that slide up because I want you guys to see exactly what our fast action bonus is. This is an invite only link. So you guys will actually get the link. I send out, for those that have joined us already, I will send out a link to you probably Thursday. Well, actually probably by tomorrow, I'll send out a link with the Zoom information so that you can join that call. And then, I will also send a link right before we go live with Ben. So again, this is, and if you guys need to go check out his channel, he is from Ben Talks Talent. That's the name of his channel. He is a recruiting leader. He manages a high performing team of recruiters. He's going to be joining us on Thursday to share the biggest mistakes that him and his team sees from job seekers. He's also going to be talking about what it looks like from the recruiter's perspective or the recruiter's end. I get a lot of questions where I have a lot of folks that will get through the interview process and they get rejected, and maybe it was another person that took their position, right? Or that was hired. He's going to talk to us a little bit about why does that happen and why maybe were you not selected. He's also going to talk to us a little bit about strategies to help you improve your chances of getting hired in 2025. So this is going to be a power pack session. We're going to be live with him on Zoom. You'll be able to ask his questions. You can have your video on, you can have your voice on, you could chat with us in the chat box on Thursday. So make sure if you guys are on the fence and you're fast action takers, make sure you jump in and do join us today in the toolkit, because these 20 spots will probably be done or gone by the end of the day. And if they are, that's okay, because you still have access to amazing bonus content, all the information that you need to help you land top job offers in 2025. Again, if you guys have any questions about anything, email me at heather@professoroustin.com. I'll have Tori in my inbox. She helps me sift through all the messages that we get. And I have an amazing team of people that we are here to help you in the job search. If you have not yet hit the like button on this video, make sure you do that right now. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet done so. We do our best to at least come on live with you a couple times a month. We try and release videos when we can, just to give you guys action steps so that you can conquer the tough or difficult job market, whether it's tough or not, right? But really, most importantly, to help you move forward in 2025. Happy holidays, everyone. I am so happy that you guys joined us. And I want to say I love seeing your beautiful faces. I can see some of your faces here on YouTube, but I love seeing your beautiful names and faces. And I just love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And make sure you tune in and stay subscribed to this channel so that you're notified when we do these amazing live sessions in the future. Okay, you guys, we will be in touch.